meeting of representatives of the Arab and Islamic world, and that important speech, although the White House aren't actually billing it as a speech, they're billing it as remarks, but an address anyway in some form by the new president to the Islamic world. An address, we're told, is written by one of his aides, or a part written by one of his aides, Stephen Miller, the man who was one of those who wrote the travel order that targeted Muslim countries. That, of course, is a problem in the past between the Islamic world and President Trump, but certainly here, as you drive around Riyadh, the Saudis very keen to stress that they are very excited by this new relationship. In fact, along all the highways here, there are pictures of President Trump and King Salman with the slogan, "Together we will prevail," along with pictures of King Abdulaziz and President Roosevelt, I think showing the long relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States. The door of Air Force One is now open. In a moment you'll see the steps go up to the plane for the first part of this very grueling tour that the president has planned. I've spoken to a number of experts, numbers of members of previous administrations who say they're somewhat surprised that a president who just in a matter of weeks celebrates his 71st birthday, and a president who's known not to like foreign travel, is undertaking such a marathon trip, because he'll be here in Riyadh for these meetings, a series of summit meetings here. Then he's flying on to Tel Aviv for meetings with the Israelis, and then to Bethlehem with the Palestinians, then an audience with the Pope in the Vatican. So there you see they're coming here to Saudi Arabia, the site, the place of the sites, some of the holiest sites in Islam, going to Jerusalem, again holy in Islam, to Judaism and to Christianity, and to meet the Pope, Catholicism in the Vatican. And then that's not the end of it. More summits planned. At the end of this meeting, he'll be meeting with the leaders of the EU, then he'll be meeting at a summit meeting with all the leaders of NATO countries, and then on to Sicily for a G7 summit. So it's a very long trip, a very high-stakes trip. The possibility, I think, given that this is a president who does not stick to rehearsed lines, of some controversy, a president who's certainly facing a lot of controversy at home, hoping that on the global stage perhaps this trip can form part of a little bit of a restart for his presidency.
Yeah, James, I don't think we can ignore the political firestorm that he's leaving behind in the United States, the domestic headlines. Are they going to put even more pressure, do you think, on Trump and the White House to deliver some sort of a foreign policy victory as he arrives on his first foreign visit?
I think they are, and I think when you see the interactions with the media, there aren't many at the moment on the schedule. There's no formal press conference at the moment being announced by the White House at any point during this long tour that the president is doing, but I'm sure you're going to get questions about domestic issues, which is quite amazing given the serious international issues this president is dealing with at this time. Just look at the issues that he'll focus on when he's here in Riyadh. Certainly from the US side, the two things I think they want to press on here are the alliance against ISIL and the threat from Iran. Interesting that this, of course, is taking place as in the next few hours we expect to hear the results of the Iranian election coming through. So Iran, of course, very important to the Arab allies of the US, and particularly to Saudi Arabia, and that'll be one of the focuses of this summit. But clear too that there'll be other business to be done here. We're hearing that they will